Hi, my name is McKay Bates, and I will be presenting Case Study 2-4, A Faulty Budget. This case revolves around Jackson Daniels, an accounting graduate who has worked for Lynchburg Manufacturing for 2 years. Daniels was put in charge of the 2016 budget. After publishing the budget to the company staff, Daniels discovered a significant error in the budgeted sales numbers. He had budgeted a 25% increase in sales that should have only been a 12.5% increase. He discussed the error with his friend, Jonathan Walker, who advised him not to say anything, reasoning that it was a one-time error that was just an estimate anyway. Daniels decided to speak with Pete, the VP of production, and ask his opinion. To Daniels' surprise, Pete also suggested not to say anything, citing the likelihood that both of them might lose their jobs. In addition, 20 new employees were hired based on this budget. They too could lose their jobs if this error became public. Daniels essentially has two options. He can tell his boss, Jose Cuervo, or he can choose not to tell him. Running through the ethical decision-making model, he must first consider what benefits and harms each action might produce. If he notifies Cuervo, then Pete, Daniels, and 20 others all potentially lose their jobs. Alternatively, the business could take corrective action and countless other jobs could be saved, along with avoiding potential financial losses for the business and all of its stakeholders. If the information were hidden now, but discovered later, it would almost certainly mean a loss of job and reputation for both Pete and Daniels. Second, he must consider what rights do the affected parties have, and which course of action best respects those rights. When considering everyone's rights, I believe the right to know the full truth about the situation is paramount above all else. Third, Daniels must consider what course of action shows the least favoritism or discrimination. Not telling Cuervo will in the short run favor Daniels, Pete, and the other 20 employees who will not lose their job, but it risks all of their jobs in the long term, as well as risking the financial stability of the company as a whole. Telling Cuervo now will show the least favoritism by minimizing loss to all stakeholders in the long term. Fourth, Daniels must consider what course of action advances the common good. Although some jobs may be lost now, potentially countless more are saved in the long run by notifying management of the error. And finally, he must consider which course of action best develops moral virtues. Telling Cuervo of the error will develop honesty and integrity. Given that Daniels has now decided to take some action, even though he had previously agreed not to, he should now set up a meeting with Cuervo to discuss the error. Before the meeting occurs, Daniels should speak with Pete and notify him of Daniels' intention to meet with Cuervo, and should invite Pete to participate in the meeting with Cuervo. This notification is to validate Pete's right to know and to minimize any harm to Pete. With his reputation and his job on the line, Pete will certainly resist the invitation to meet with Cuervo, just as he did in their last meeting. But with the meeting already set up, and Daniel sharing his analysis of the alternatives, Pete hopefully will come to agree that notifying Cuervo is the best choice in the long run. As a VP of production, certainly Pete has a vested interest in the long-term well-being of the company. When preparing his persuasive response, Daniels should discuss Pete's vested interest and the other long-term benefits of notifying Cuervo now of the error. In addition, Daniels should prepare a remediation plan to present to Pete as part of the persuasive discussion to help minimize the potential short-term harm to all parties involved. The two of them should then feel confident to discuss the original error and related remediation with Cuervo, knowing that they have done their best and demonstrated honesty and integrity.